Well, hello, YOW leaders. This is a video for any of you adults who are serving as YOW leaders this year for 2019-2020 Youth on Wednesday program. So any of you who are regular table leaders, substitute table leaders, or even if you're the program coordinator, just greetings to you, and I really just want to say thank you for being willing to show up week in and week out and in a lot of ways serve these kids and help teach them and help them continue to connect and grow in their relationship with God. And this is sort of an age when a lot of these young adults are beginning to become young adults, and they start questioning and thinking about things in a much deeper way, and you get to be there to help them do that. So I am really appreciative of you, and I know this community is, and I know these kids are. It is my plan to do videos like these each week leading up to the next Youth on Wednesday session, mostly to sort of give you a sense of what we're going to be talking about, and maybe some things to watch out for, some things to think about, and just sort of generally help you prepare for the sessions. Yeah, and if you like them, then I will continue to do these. So again, this is really exciting this year. So at the moment, and I think these numbers will only grow, we have 42 kids signed up for the YOW program, and that's excellent, and that's really amazing. And what's even more excellent is that 18 of these are 8th graders, and we're going to help these 8th graders this year get confirmed and become adult members of our congregation. And that's really exciting. So, they have a lot of extra activities and projects. We're going to see a lot of these young people helping out with worship, thinking deeply about some sermon messages and things like that. So it's a really great year, and we really just have a lot of kids here, but not too many for us, I think. A couple things I'd like you to sort of some resources and thoughts and some expectations for you to be a table leader. I want to say that for those of you who are table leaders and regular table leaders, these young people are really going to connect with you, and they're going to really bond with you, and they're going to bond with their groups around that table, right? And right now we just set tables last week. We'll probably change them one time after the midpoint of the year, or the sort of academic year that we have for YOW. But these kids are really going to connect with you. You're going to talk to them and lead them through discussion, help them think about some fun and challenging concepts and questions about God. And so what you're going to do is really, really important. And so first, a request that I have for you is that it's really important that we as leaders are there week in, week out, and we are there consistently. So if for whatever reason, any reason at all, if you cannot make YOW for Wednesday, I ask that you let me know by email, or you call the church office here by Monday. We have, and watching this video also, are a few substitutes. So we have some really dedicated and really excellent substitutes, but to be fair to them, we need to give them time for me to then see if they are available and to come on out. So everybody say hello to Kate in the back there.
Hi. How's it going?
All right. Also, you're going to be talking to these kids, and part of the structure is that we're going to go through highs and lows every week and things like that, and you're gonna get to know them really well and talk to them really well, and get to know them well, and probably have some deeper conversations more frequently than maybe Kim or I will. So if something ever comes up, anything you need support, anything that concerns you, anything that a young person is struggling with, please feel free to let me know or talk to me about it. So that I can get involved, or if I'm not available for some reason, please go and talk to Pastor Mark about this. These kids, having worked with them last year and spoken with them last year, they're going through some real things, and it's really, if something comes up and it's a little bit sort of, you're not sure how to handle it, please come and talk to us, whether it's a health thing or some other concern or other challenge that's going on in their life. Again, please let us know, and we're there to help you and support you. At the same time, also, if your table is getting a little bit rowdy and you need some support, feel free to come and tap Kim or I during the sessions, and we will certainly be happy there to come and support you. Let's see what else. Last week also, Kim took an activity with the kids, and she asked them, and they generated sort of a list of things that they need from us as adults, and things that they need from each other as friends, and things that they're going to offer themselves to make the YOW experience really well. We're going to be reviewing. She's going to share that document again after she she has pulled it all together at YOW this week, and we're going to be reviewing that pretty frequently. And this is sort of going to be sort of like our covenant on how we're going to treat each other well through this YOW experience. And again, as table leaders, you're sort of the front line of sort of looking at that and helping guide these young people in treating their colleagues well. Okay, this is going to be a little bit longer video, but I want to talk a little bit about the year. So this year, we're going to be covering sort of three broad categories. First, it's, well, this looks a little backwards here. First, it's Luther and the Small Catechism. And we're going to be using it out of these dark-colored books. And we are going to be doing an in-depth exploration of the Apostles' Creed out of these green books. And we're going to be using a piece of Lutheran living this year also, but not the whole thing. And so we're going to really, and so we're going to be covering those topics. And we're also going to be making use of, every once in a while, the Luther Small Catechism. This is a great resource. If any of you are ever thinking about going to seminary, they make you, at Lutheran seminaries at least, memorize this thing. So much fun. But it's a really, really great tool, and really great resource. So yeah. The sessions themselves on any individual week are going to be pretty standard. We're going to welcome the kids in. I'm going, one of you as table leaders is going to have the basket of candy. We're going to ask if anybody brought a guest. If they did bring a guest, then that young person and their guest both get a piece of candy. We're going to go through who had a birthday since the last time they were here, who helped with worship since the last time we were here, and all those folks get candy. We are also then going to look at 8th grade confirmation and sort of make sure we update them. I think last year we were pretty consistent, and like, let's say the last quarter, the last third of the year, and I want to make sure we get this consistently in front of these young folks, and make sure that they, especially our 8th graders, see what they have to do for 8th grade, and they can see their progress consistently. And then I'll also take that sort of in that moment after we do the 8th grade, and probably Kim will be the one that does that updating, answer any questions that the 8th graders had in their sermon notes. So Kim and I will be reading all of everybody's materials and things like that, and if there's a question that kids raise on their sermon notes, we will answer them. And we will take all questions seriously, which can be a little bit fun. And then we'll do whatever announcements, if there's specific things that are coming up or events coming up or things like that, or things that we need all of the YOW kids to watch out for, we'll do those announcements. Okay, and that'll be sort of the first part. The second part is we're going to break into this thing and we're going to do highs and lows. So, and that's where you as table leaders really step up. And everybody around the table should go around, including yourself, and say, here's a high that I had this last week, and here's a low that I had this last week. And you go around and share those. And then as a group, you decide one thing that you want to ask God for, and one thing you want to be thankful, you want to thank God for. Probably should reverse. What do you want to thank God for, and what do you want to ask God for? After all the tables are done, you will appoint a spokesperson. Everybody will stand up with the things that they are thankful for and things they want to ask God for. And as a group, we will say a prayer. And I will lead that prayer. Whoever's running the session that night will lead that prayer. And, and we go, dear God, and we go around each of the tables and they say, we're thankful for this, and we ask God for this. We're thankful for this, we ask God for this. And then we pray that in Christ's name, and we do that together, and we say amen. Okay? Then we're going to break in sort of the sort of the real meat and the learning of the day. And again, this is your time, table leaders. And we'll have in this PowerPoint, we'll have a PowerPoint that's up in front. We'll have you jump into whatever book we're working on at the given time, And as a table, you should read through the sections that says to read. Then there'll be certain sections that we say, hey, and they're often labeled Bible time or role play or questions to ponder, um, and a few other sections or a few other things. And you'll ask to complete some of those, usually not all of those. The reality is that there's so much to learn about our faith and about Christianity, and that even these great materials that are set up for our middle schoolers have way more in there than we have capacity to get through at any given session. And so you'll be asked to do that thing. And usually there's something that you, as a table, you're going to work on that you will share or use later on that evening. After everybody's done with that, and whatever time frame that you have, and it can be anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes usually, to do that work, we come back together and we share, and then we have some sort of activity that comes on at the end, and it's usually pretty fun. Sometimes they're cahoots. Kim, who is our coordinator this year, has a number of ideas and has had a number of ideas, and we'll be doing some of her sort of get to know each other kind of activities again this week. Sometimes they're like little competitions, like memorizing the books of the Old Testament and who can speak those, who can share those and have those memorized, or we did the 10 Commandments last year, and other ways to help kids learn some of these things. And they're really meant to be fun, and we give away generous amounts of candy in that process. And the last thing, and the very least thing that we do for the night, is the blessing. And we will have on the PowerPoint and on the screen, we'll have what the blessing of the night is. And what I ask is that you as table leaders go up front, go up by the baptismal font, and the kids will stand in line, and you bless your own kids, right? So the kids that are at your table, right? And what you do, you'll take some water on your finger, and you'll put it on their forehead, and you'll say, "Sterling, child of God, may the Lord of love supply all the needs and make you a blessing to the world. In Christ's name, amen." That's a blessing from last year that I was just reading. You do a little sign of the cross on their head, and this may be the only time in a week that any of these kids are specifically prayed over and specifically blessed by anybody. And it's even more powerful and more important, just as God and Christ calls us by name, that we to do our best abilities to learn these kids' names and make sure that we call them by name when we give them those blessings. I'm by no means perfect, but I think you as table leaders will have the best shot at doing this consistently and well every week. Okay. So that is sort of the big picture structure and how this is going to look and how it's going to look in week week out. Again, this is a little bit longer video, but this week we will be starting right at the beginning of Luther and the Catechism, and starting with chapter 1, and it's called the Stormy Monk, and it talks about Luther's really his conversion story. I believe he was already baptized by this point as an adult when he decided to become a monk and join the church, and his relationship with God. And so you're going to find as you read through this material with the kids that Luther had a really tough relationship with God, and I can really empathize. I think for me, there's been so many times in my life that I felt like God was, at best gently nudging me, but often pushing or shoving, or, just really was a tough character for me to relate with. And we read about Luther having a similar struggle, and even after he, thought he would be okay after he became a monk and eventually a priest, how he still was struggling. And I think there's an opportunity, and the first opportunity among many, where we can have honest conversations with our kids at your tables about who is God to them. The big activities of the night is we'll have a theme Bible verse that we'll share at the beginning, but we're gonna have them go into the small catechisms, which are in your little booklets, and we'll probably have you guys as a group, and this activity will have you dig around in here to look for different ways God is explained, and you're going to share those out as a group. And then what you're going to talk about around your table in your time, providing that we have time, how do these kids picture God Is God really a friend to them, a parent, a judge, some cosmic, far off cosmic being? How do they relate to them? And in fact, this is also a fair time for you to share. And as table leaders, you might, do not feel like you need to have some great, perfect, pious answer. I'm not sure what a great, perfect, pious answer would be to any of these questions. But you can participate in these conversations and lead these kids in their conversations about these things. So it will be a pretty exciting week. And then at the end, Kim will have another get to know you game. Last week we did this ball passing game. I believe the plan is we're going to see if we can get to 2, maybe even 3 balls with everybody knowing each other's names. Maybe this is for us adults also, we maybe should participate in this as well so we get to know our kids. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. Again, this is a little bit of a longer video, but every week I'll be sharing these out with you, give you some things to think about ahead of the lesson. If you cannot make YOW tomorrow night, as soon as you can, please let me know by email or give a call here to the office, and then I can reach out and see if we can find a substitute. It's really important that we never have a table that's empty and doesn't have kids at it. And so I'm going to take that as a responsibility, but I do need your help to do that as well. And otherwise, if you have any other questions, please give me a call. I am really excited. I'm really excited about all of you as a crew. I really appreciate your leadership here and the amount that you give for the development of these kids. And so God bless you all. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.